morbidly curious as the county held an auction of items belonging to the Heaven's Gate cult. The mass suicide happened right here in San Diego County, and it was the most deadly ever on U.S. soil. Today, people were hoping to bring home a piece of history.
There were the boxes filled with cult members' belongings. There was some artwork and a van. Everyday items like a dryer and pots and pans, even a big screen TV. But these are what ultimately got a lot of attention from auction goers, the infamous bunk beds where 39 Heaven's Gate cult members committed suicide.
That's where they went. That's where they took their trip.
The big news story is the beds right there.
And so were you just curious?
Yeah, kind of curious. See if they're actually going to give them away.
About 700 people showed up. Some were serious bidders for cult belongings here at the county warehouse. Others were just curious.
What brings you out here today?
The purple shrouds.
The items came from this multi-million-dollar Rancho Santa Fe estate. 2 years ago, Heaven's Gate cult members wearing purple shrouds and Nikes took a lethal concoction, believing they'd board a spaceship in the tail of the Hale-Bopp comet. Because of all the notoriety, today's auction drew a lot of media attention. Still, some weren't prepared for it.
I think a lot of people, at least who I met coming to the auction that are permanent bidders, were a little surprised by how much attention was given to the auction.
Other auction goers tried to push aside their squeamish feelings about this unusual sale, just so they might be able to go home with a good bargain.
I saw some TVs now. I don't care who had them, but, you know, I might get one. So that's a possibility.
Well, it took just minutes to auction off the 19 bunk beds. They went for between $100 and $130 apiece. Some people are hoping to resell them on the internet for a profit. By the way, personal items like the purple shrouds were not up for bid. Personal items were turned over to surviving cult members as part of a legal settlement. Proceeds from the remaining items will pay claims filed by relatives of Heaven's Gate cult members.
It was business as usual at the
infamous bunk beds. They sold for around $20 each.
We buy them because we sell on eBay.
And I wouldn't want to sleep in it either.
It's one color red, a bunk bed from the Heaven's Gate complex.
It is odd, you know. I don't want it.
Heaven's Gate had an online following, so where better to sell them than online on eBay?
They might go for a couple of grand each. You never know. Yes, you got to understand there's weird people out there.
Today's auction raised about $33,000, which will go to the families of cult members to help cover burial expenses.
Some bidders had a chance to get a piece of history, items left behind by Heaven's Gate cult members who committed mass suicide in Rancho Santa Fe 2 years ago. Among the hot items, the famous bunk beds we saw on Sheriff's Department videotape after the suicide.
Does it freak you out at all that this is... A little. I was kind of nervous. My stomach keeps getting butterflies when I, walk around in there.
Prices for the Heaven's Gate items range from thousands of dollars to less than $100. Today's auction brought in nearly $33,000, which goes to cult members' families to help reimburse burial costs. A kayaker paddled